Hey guys, John V from PhoneArena here. You're watching our video review of the Google Nexus Player, which is basically an Android-based media player and game console. The player itself is this disc-shaped object. It's nice that it's discreet and very minimalist. It's made out of all plastic. You have a matte finish for the most part. Around the sides, you have a glossy surface here. It's made by Asus. You have the button right here at the bottom to put into pairing mode. And on the underside, you have some additional ports for things like the power jack, the micro USB port, and the HDMI port itself. But it doesn't come included with the HDMI cable. You got to supply that yourself. Packaged along with the Nexus Player is the Bluetooth-enabled remote here. It's pretty basic, pretty good size, but it's pretty bare bones, made out of plastic, powered by two AAA batteries, which luckily comes included with the box. And basically you have your directional pad right here to navigate through the UI, and you have also dedicated buttons for back, home, pause, play, and the most interesting one here, which is the voice assistant one here, so you can search for various content with voice. Now, if you're going to be more into gaming than anything else, you'll probably want to pick up the optional gamepad controller, which will set you back another $40 on top of the $100 cost of the Nexus Player itself. The controller looks exactly like an Xbox 360, so you have things like the dual analog sticks, and the directional pad, dedicated buttons, shoulder bumpers, and also the analog triggers. Unfortunately though, it's powered by two AA batteries. It'd been nice to see it being a rechargeable system instead. But not only can you use it to navigate across the UI, similar to the function of the remote that comes included with it, but of course it makes it better for gaming because there are certain games that really take advantage of this. Once everything's set up, this is the UI that we're presented with the Nexus Player. It's running Android 5.0 Lollipop, and I gotta say that it's pretty clean, simple, intuitive. It's basically this first row here, this carousel of some featured content. Below that, some of the portals to where you could get content. For example, the Google Play Music Store TV. You have a YouTube Center. You could also get Google Play Music if you want. And of course, all the apps that you download will aggregate in this section. And below that, you have an area strictly for games. The catalog for movies and music are pretty good, so if you go to the Google Play Movies and TV section here, you'll have plenty to choose from. You could buy it, of course, you could preview some of the trailers, but it's all streaming. Nothing's technically saved onto the Nexus Player itself in terms of multimedia content. The same thing applies with the Google Play Music application here. It's pretty much the same thing you'd find in an Android phone, so if you subscribe to Google's instant music access service, you'll be able to stream as much of the content you want in there. One of the complaints that we have right now is the current selection of applications you could download for it. Now it's new technically, so that's something that we have to take into account, but you'll have popular things like the Netflix app and even Hulu Plus, so you can stream all that content if you have an account with them. You have some other ones here, but it doesn't have the same scope of applications that you'd get with standard Android. Another complaint that we have is just with the typing process. It's a labor in itself, though some applications take advantage of the voice feature so you can speak what you want, but the others, they don't. Luckily, you could actually pair up the Nexus Player with a Bluetooth-enabled keyboard, so at least that will help. When it comes to gaming, it boils down to two categories. You have games that are optimized to be used with the TV remote and others that are optimized for the gamepad. Now, with the TV remote games, they're simple ones where you just basically click on a button or just, navigate with the D-pad, and they're pretty simple, and some of them have pretty nice graphics as well, but more on the cute side than anything else. As with the games for the gamepad, they're a little bit more in-depth, almost console-like. You especially see it in some of the graphics. For example, some of the car games and even the boxing game that they have. They make good use of it, and for the most part, it's pretty responsive and enjoyable. You should know that the Nexus Player only comes with 8 GB of internal storage capacity, and there's no way to expand that. So, you gotta pick and choose what content you want to save. Some games take a gigabyte or 2 GB of storage, so that pretty much eats it up and there's no way to expand it. In a way, we could say that the Nexus Player is a souped up version of a Chromecast, just because you can actually screencast something directly to it. So if you have an Android device, one that's compatible to work with this one, for example, I have the Nexus 9 here, you could screencast whatever you're doing, so you could have that full Android experience, which is great. That's wonderful just because you have all the applications you'd find with Android on board, and you could have it directly on your television set. So you could continue to use all the apps that you know, whether it be the Netflix, Hulu, and even all the other ones that Android has to offer. So if you guys want to learn more about the Google Nexus Player, you could check out our website, PhoneArena.com. John V. Thanks for watching.